People want coaches and external validation and all these things to let them know, God, give me a sign and all these things to do what they know that they're supposed to be doing. And I'm talking to myself included. Why are you delaying, waiting for external validation to pursue what you know that you should be doing anyway? We've all been in a position where we felt like everything was just right. I mean, we felt like the weather was perfect, what we were doing had meaning, we were happy, and everything just seemed to be clicking on all cylinders. So today we're going to talk about that feeling, the feeling of why we've all been in a position where we felt like it was just right. So how can we recreate that? There are going to be times where things don't feel right. And I'll give you a great example. This morning, me and my wife were on our way to the gym, and neither one of us felt like doing it. She's got me in a Pilates class, a yoga class, a boot camp class. And as an athlete, I've done a lot of things. Classes, just not my jam. But in the spirit of being a good husband and supporting my wife and being a team, I said, let's go ahead and do it. The entire way there, I did not feel like doing one bit of it. But when I came out, I said this to my wife. I said, we've never left a class or never left a gym and felt like we shouldn't have done it. There's never been a time where we've done something uncomfortable that we really didn't want to do that was good for us and then came out of it with regret. So if we understand that if we're going to do something, pursue something, whether it's building a online presence, being a real estate agent, being a loan officer, being a title company, whatever the case may be, being in sales, and you know that making phone calls is uncomfortable and you'll never want to do it. But I've never prospected, got done with prospecting and setting appointments and felt like I shouldn't have done it. But that feeling of like, man, I proved it to myself. I did what I said I was going to do. I kept my promise to myself. I'm a man of my word to myself. When no one else is looking, I'm putting in overtime. That feeling of accomplishment, that's why. That's the feeling that we're trying to recreate. So the first thing that I want to talk about going into the feeling of why is, what's a time that you felt that perfect feeling, that feeling of this is it. I wish every day could be like this, whether it's on a date with your spouse, a friend, an experience that you experienced, and you're like, man, this is it. Man, today was an incredible day. How can we create that? And I almost want to do a social experiment where if I wrote down, or if you wrote down every single thing that you knew you needed to do, and you just said for one day, I want to write down everything that I say that I want to do, that I need to do, that I know that's beneficial for me. And I'm just going to do it from the moment I'm going to wake up when I say I'm going to wake up. And I'm going to recreate the most perfect day possible, regardless of what the world may throw at me. I'm going to do everything that I'm supposed to do on this one day. And then reflect on how that day went. Yes, you may be exhausted. Yes, you may have some mental battles. You may forget to eat. You may, forget to respond to people, but you're doing the things that you said that you were going to do. And how did you feel after you did those things? That's what I want to challenge you. And I'm actually going to do it. So wherever you are in this podcast, wherever you are right now, if you can pull over, take a note. If you're on a treadmill, just take a note. Make a list of all the things that would make one day the most perfect day, and then just do all of it. Just pick one day and say, you know what? I'm not going to schedule anything else, no distractions. I'm going to focus on it. And that feeling of accomplishment. And if you miss one thing, it's not the perfect day. If you miss two things, people are willing to do 75 hard and do all these other things that are great for them, but still neglect the things that are most meaningful for them. And I am going to do this. I'm going to pick a day. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to take notes. And what will be the perfect day for me? From the time that I wake up, to working on my business, to developing my business, to doing all the mundane tasks that I don't really want to do, that I've been neglecting, time with my wife, time with my kids, walking the dog, cleaning the house, whatever it is. Do everything that would make the perfect day. And talk about that feeling. Reflect on that feeling. Why do I feel this way? Why do I neglect or postpone this same feeling and procrastinate on a life that I know that I could be living? The feeling that we know is there for us, we neglect it. It's waiting. Why are we postponing and delaying the things that we know we need to do? Me and my wife also had another conversation where we were talking about how things used to be when we were young. My knees used to work. I used to be able to run. We used to be able to drink and wake up the next morning. I could go out and party, wake up, be on time for work the next day. But as we get older, obviously, for my people in your 30s, that thing's changed. The people in your 40s, that it don't work like that. You go out, you have a good time. The next day, you're borrowing tomorrow's happiness and strength and ability for a night of fun. So your decision making starts to change. So you've experienced a feeling that you're like, man, I do not want to feel that anymore because things just aren't the way that they used to be. So now we make decisions based on that feeling. We will neglect drinking too much, eating too much sugar, delaying working out because we know how it feels, the consequences feel based on those decisions that we've made. So as we're pursuing this feeling of why, I would be inclined to say the moment that you don't feel like doing it, but you move in the direction of the thing that you're supposed to be doing, the feeling comes afterward. The feeling comes after you do the things that you don't want to do. You won't pursue the feeling of why and just wake up one day and feel like, man, I'm walking in my purpose. I have so much clarity today. It's getting in motion, doing the things that you know that you're supposed to be doing. People want coaches and external validation and all these things to let them know, God, give me a sign. And all these things to do what they know that they're supposed to be doing. And I'm talking to myself included. Why are you delaying, waiting for external validation to pursue what you know that you should be doing anyway? The feeling of success, of gratitude, of all these things that come after, only come after. So regardless of how you feel right now, what's going on in the world, who the president is, what the interest rates are, do what you're supposed to do. Pursue the feeling of why on the other side of the actions that you've been delaying and procrastinating. Today is the day that you make that list. What does the perfect day look like? Put it in your calendar and decide that on this day, I'm going to do everything that I know will make the perfect day. And after you do it, you feel that feeling, repeat it again forever. Thanks so much for tuning into another episode of the D-League podcast. For all my listeners, this is an offer for you. Every Wednesday, salespeople, real estate agents, loan officers, whatever industry that you're in, free role play where we work on our communication absolutely free in the school community. SKOOL. Just look for the D-League, and it's a free community where I'm providing value every single week, 8:30 a.m. PST. I'll see you in the next episode.